it's Abigail, and it's the end of the year. It's the end of 2020. I just want to say thank you again for all the support we got this year, and I'm super excited to show you what we have in store for 2021. I want to apologize for the audio quality in this one because Zoom smushed all our audio tracks together and made it a lot more difficult to edit. I still really enjoy this episode, and I hope you do too. Please stay safe for the rest of the year. And with that, here's the episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Hey Hire Us. I'm Abigail.
I'm Ariel.
And today we are interviewing our lovely friend, Abelle Hayford. Yay! Abelle,
Hey.
Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
So I'm Abelle Hayford. I am currently working at Warner Bros. As a BG painter, but soon will be let go, unfortunately, in December 18th, and looking for work in care design, color design, BG paint, visual development, anything that you think I would be great at. I freelance on the side. I work with numerous clients between animation and illustration. So worked with different studios like Disney, Cartoon Network, Nick, Warner Brothers, also Random House, and the New Yorker and New York Times. So I am all around the place just trying to work. But I'm also the head organizer of Drawing While Black, which is a hashtag/directory focused on Black creatives and artists. And my goal is to also help other Black artists get employed, not only in animation, but other artistic fields.
Yeah. I feel like we don't even need to have the rap section because that was just like all of yourself pitched out like that so perfectly.
That was your entire pitch already.
But because I saw that you were going to be looking for work December 18th, and this episode will be uploaded on December 28th. Hopefully by now, I would you should be. Hopefully you already got a job. But if not, everyone who's listening to this episode, please hire them. Please. As you can see, their credentials are more than enough to get a job in this industry.
But you guys too.
Thanks. That's sweet.
But like I said, I think we can definitely move on to just talking about your work, since that was really good. That's how you pitch yourself, guys. Learn from Abelle. That was a great just whole spiel of everything laid out. And we definitely want, of course, because since you're the creator of Drawing While Black, I feel like that's just so admirable to me, because you are paving the way for other people to get hired, and that's just awesome. We want to talk about this a little bit, but we definitely want to focus on your projects afterward. And for those who didn't go to the Lightbox panel, there's also a really good Drawing While Black Lightbox panel that you can lean into. But do you want to talk about this a little more, Abelle?
Sure, why not? Yeah. So Drawing While Black started 2017. Yeah, 2017. I was at the time an intern at Warner Brothers, and even though I really enjoyed my experience there, I did feel kind of isolated and lonely because I was one of the only Black people on my crew. Plus, I felt like there was only 5 Black people on my floor, so I did feel kind of isolated. And I think even when I was growing up, I always felt that I was I think that feeling being the only one in the room. I know some people enjoy that feeling, but I'm the opposite. I hate being the only Black person in the room, because it does feel very isolating. It does make it hard for you to voice your opinions and concerns. So it was mostly inspired by Visible Woman and how that initiative happened. I think when that happened, I was wow, this is so great. I think having a Black hashtag inspired by this would be great. So I created Drawing While Black as kind of a stepping stone for that. And I didn't expect it to blow up that much. I only thought a few people would participate, but a lot of people were really enthusiastic about it and sharing their work, and really showing it introduced me to a lot of people, a lot of artists who are now some of my closest friends and stuff. And it was nice to finally, because I think a lot of people have the excuse, there's not a lot of Black artists out there, so we can't really hire a lot of Black people. But I think with Drawing While Black, it proved the point that no, there are a lot of Black artists. It's just a matter of people reaching out, or like if they have the resources to pursue a professional career and stuff. And I think that's why I also created directory, because I wanted like some formatted like type of things where hires, art directors, showrunners, all those sorts can find artists if they do. First, like artists, like these artists are very talented, so like their talent's not something to like argue about. But I think also too, like if they do see that they're hiring, or like people on the crew are not very diverse, it's like, well, you can find someone who not only fits the bill and talent wise, but also can have like new perspectives and like a new way of like thinking, as opposed to hiring the same people, you know, and like giving these Black artists opportunities to like build their careers and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's so amazing. And I feel like Abelle, if you follow them on Twitter, which you should, and we're gonna show all the information at the end, you're always like advocating for Black artists, but not only Black artists, just for artists in general, because you even made a hashtag calendar like to help people
so helpful,
organized. And that's just awesome, because people can look at it and they're like, oh, I can prepare for this like portfolio day, which is on there, or Visible Woman, or Drawing While Black. And that's just so awesome. You're always like thinking of ways to help artists, which is so great.
Yeah, I think like of course I want to help artists, but also there's like this one part of me is like out of spite, because everyone's complaining about, oh, why is this not organized? Like, why can't we find Black artists? Or why is all these hashtags so close together? I'm like, well, let's organize and make this like, I just want to make things easy and accessible for people. So to avoid conflict and to kind of avoid excuses, because it's like it's so easy to find this information. I don't want to say it's so easy, but it's like this information is there. It's just a matter like where to find it in like one cohesive area. And if I'm that person, so be it.
Yeah, I mean, now there's no excuses. There's literally none. This resource is out there, and you can use it if you want to start a hashtag event for like a group of people, which is awesome, because like a hashtag event, if it takes time, it takes effort, but it's not something that is only for like the highest person or whatever. Like if you have a group that you want to represent more in the field, definitely look at the calendar and see when there's place to do that. Moving on to just your work in general, I think Ariel, do you want to start off?
Well, I just want to start because saying, well, I know you want to get into character design also, and I also am an aspiring, well, not aspiring, I am a character designer. I must say that.
Aspiring.
Not aspiring. I am a character designer. But honestly, my favorite thing about your designs, especially, is I was telling Abby this earlier when we were stalking your portfolio, they feel like people I know. Like they feel like people I see in the world outside. And I was saying, and Abby also brought up, yeah, it's kind of like Spider-Verse. And I said, yes, exactly. It reminds me of like the vibes I get from watching Spider-Verse, because they just feel like real people. So I think that's...
I'm glad you said that.
Because as a character designer, I think that's just one of the most important things we need to reach with our designs. And this is another like small thing. As I was looking at your work, I was like, oh my gosh, they're really good at drawing shoes. Just a small detail. I was like, look at all of this. And I'm like, the shoes, it's just, that's like a small detail that I just love about your work. And the shape language is everything. So such a talented character designer. And I'm just so in awe of how you design.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an honor.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing with your color design work, Abelle has such a way with limited color palettes. I love the way you don't go crazy with everything, but you say so much with your limited color palettes, and that's such a skill for color design, and I admire you so much for it. So hire them, everyone.
Hire them.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I guess my process is just I just go with the flow, I guess. I think when it comes to character design and stuff, I really do try to make them as human as possible, you know, like I you know how they have like those, this is like kind of tangible, like you know how they have like those AIs that like make like fake human people, but they look real. I want to be that person with character design. And like I think taking like trying to really like make authentic characters, but still keep it stylized and stuff. Because I think like authoring them, I see some character designers do get themselves in trouble with being too exaggerated with features and or like too realistic. And I want to find that great middle ground. If someone's like, oh, this is someone I know, as opposed to like this represents like a whole group, you know, like I want people, I want each character to have an individual story, you know. Yeah, and I think so that's yeah, and I think I kind of have like the same idea with my colors, sort of. Like I do, I think with color, I don't think as it as like a second thought. I think it's more of like it has a value in the story. I think that's why it's so weird how color styling is viewed as an entry level job, when like color styling has so much impact, and not only like the visual storytelling of the story of like animation, you know, like I was so into being a color stylist and doing BG paint, because it's like it can like the colors can make or break a show. Like if you don't have good colors, it's going to look ugly. Like people will watch a show just for the colors, you know. And that's why color design and like BG paint are such important jobs.
And that's why you should pay color designers way more for what they do.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Please, come on now. Color is so important with story and telling like what type of a person a character is, or the mood of a like certain scene. And it's just like the fact they don't get paid as much as they should is really heartbreaking.
Oh yeah.
It's still viewed as an entry level job, but there's people who worked as color designers for like their whole career, you know. So it's like it's not I don't think it is an entry level job. I think it does depend on the crew or like the production, you know, because there's some people, like some color designers carry the show, you know.
I agree.
Yeah. Like I'm always so excited, especially with TV animation. There's a lot of people who post their color designing work like after the episode drops, and it's always so cool to see what they had in mind and how it carried out in the show. Like it's really awesome. Since I'm like a storyboard artist, I was really interested. Like Abelle like literally does everything and everything really well, and I adore your comics so much. I really love, especially To the Young Fire That Burns and Unapologetically Black, because I feel like the raw emotion you put into these pieces are so powerful, and it really touched me and probably a lot of people, especially for the feeling burnt out for the first one. Like when I read that comic the first time, I just felt so seen, and just like that this is just a feeling a lot of people are going through right now. Like I feel like a lot of recent grads are feeling really burnt out, and I felt like this was really important.
Yeah, and I think that's why I like doing like comic work and story work and stuff, like because I think that's where I can at least be more like intimate about like emotions and stuff. And I think with that was really I think it was like something I've been wanting to make for a very long time, but never figured out how to do it. But then I fortunately was able to do it. And I think that was such a cathartic thing, because I think that helped me realize I'm like, well, it's normal. Like, I guess it's like, I shouldn't be so hard on myself for something so like normal as burnout, you know, like burnout is always kind of bound to happen and stuff. And like, I need, it's like something like people have to overcome, especially with dealing like ADHD and stuff and like mental health. Like, I think it's not something to punish yourself for, because it happens to everyone too. Like, it's just a matter of you like just understanding that, yeah, you are doing like, as human beings, we do a lot, and especially in art school, like we are constantly working, constantly making art. And like when you're doing like, I think realizing that when you're burnout, like you should, like the last thing you should be doing is making art. But like if you're enrolled in school, all your classes are mostly like art studio classes. So it's like you kind of are forced to make art. And I think that's what happens for a lot of college students. Like they feel like they can't, like, they're like, why am I not improving? Like, why am I feeling always tired? Like, why can't I not feeling creative? You know, it's like, well, it's like driving a car. Like you can't, if you're running out of gas, like how are you going to drive? Like if you keep on driving, you're going to burn out. So it's like, it's nice. I think like when you are able to like leave school or like graduate, like, yeah, like, yes, find work, do what you can to find work and be employed, because like money is money. But also like when you do have the time to do so, like take breaks, and like take step away from your art so you can chill up and like take care of yourself, you know.
I feel like that's super important, like especially in the art community, just to keep on talking and telling young artists to take care of yourself. Because like you said, the art school culture can really wreck artists that are coming out, and it's like, you guys deserve rest, it's fine.
Yeah, we've mentioned this a lot with like our other guests. It's just the overworking culture that art school kind of like festers in you, and then like once you leave, you're kind of like, I still need to keep running and running, but then you yourself, you're like physically tired, you're emotionally tired, everyone just needs to like normalize that breaks are okay. It's okay to not draw for a bit. It's okay to like just, you know, take it slow.
Yeah. And I saw, were you saying something?
I was just gonna say, like, try not to force it out, because there's been times where I try to force something out, it's not going to turn out good. It never turns out good. So
yeah.
I think the tough part too is like I feel like a lot of art students will then start confusing art block and burnout.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like with art block, I don't know, it's a weird thing, but for burnout, it's just that feeling of like, I am exhausted with what I love doing. That's burnout. If you feel that way, that's the time when you don't like force yourself to make something. So,
yeah,
that's just a little note.
I definitely agree with that. Like, knowing the difference between art block and being burnt out is really important to discern, like with how you feel. That's super important. Like talking more about like comics work, I saw that you're actually repped by a literary agent. Are you like planning to like, do you want to go more into comics and graphic novels, like more long form, or just like if you have any like ideas for more short form comics, just anything? I would love to hear.
I'm like working on a graphic novel right now for Land House. It's like it's a buyout for Rosa Parks. So that's like what I'm doing during my that's what I'm doing during my little quote unquote hiatus / layoff.
Oh my gosh, that's I mean, so no cool. To layoff, but that's so cool.
So I'm really excited to do that, and working on some pitches with another author, which is like, I don't want to say too much, but it's pretty cool. And then I'm working on my own pitch, which I'm going to pitch to comics, of course, but also try and pitch to TV, because I also have TV agents as well. So
nice.
That's so cool. I love hearing about comic pitches. Oh, I'm so excited.
I recommend, even if you're working in animation, get a lit agent. It's so nice to not negotiate books and let someone worry about that. And also, it's nice to, I think with my having like an agent and stuff, it's very nice to have someone who's kind of like in your back corner, and like it's like someone who advocates for not only you as an artist, but you as a person and stuff. So if you're interested in comics.
Yes, they're always rooting for you. That's really awesome. And just to have a kind of a cheerleader, like, yeah, we're going to go for that project. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, moving on, like in the same vein, I know that you're like getting more into storyboarding, which is really great. I'm very like, I just want to like know about, like hear about why are you like getting more into storyboarding, and like how has that journey been, like taking classes and getting to learn more about that? Like how has that been?
Yeah, so storyboarding has been a process to learn. I always the thing is, I always wanted to be a storyboard artist too. Like I'm the type of person, like, if I can do it, I'll do it, you know? So I think it just took me a while because of school. Like, it was so much, and I'm glad that I decided to not focus on storyboarding when I was in school and right now, because it's a lot. And like I'm still taking more classes before I actually apply to jobs, but it's like I think about, like, I like the process of just like jotting things down, you know, and like getting ideas across, and like also like I really do like telling stories and stuff, and like really like using like visuals to like show that. And but also like I don't really like, well, I'm not gonna say I don't like making finished pieces, but I think I like the idea of no pressure making finished pieces and stuff. Just like getting what I need to do.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
Like, if you understand what I'm saying, like, you understand what I'm saying, you know. I don't have to do 200 layers and all these filters and stuff for you to get the picture, you know? So I think I do like the idea of being a storyboard artist and like possibly like, cause I do aspire to be like a showrunner one day, but of course I want to build my storyboard skills before I become one, you know, because I'm like, I think it'd be really beneficial, not only to myself, but also my team if I knew how to storyboard or like, at least know how to, you know, and I think for me too, I want to understand, that's why I'm like really like being design too, as opposed to just like focusing on story or design, because I like knowing each part of the pipeline, understanding like people's like issues and troubleshoot with them. That's why I'm glad I actually had an internship with Warner Brothers, because it's like I understand what's like doing production. So I think like having like understanding of each like production, design, and story, like I think like those are so important skills that for everyone who's watching or like who will eventually work in the industry, like I think even if you don't try to be a showrunner, at least try to really appreciate and understand each roles that your employees are, because I think help like understanding them will make up the whole pipeline go a lot smoother and stuff, you know.
Just hearing that, I feel like you're going to be a really good showrunner, because you already know like what's important and what's to look out for, and just understanding like the struggles of the different parts of the pipeline. I'm looking forward to when that happens. It's going to be great.
I hope so, but we'll see.
There's like, it's not just hoping, it's you're going to do it. We'll believe this. We're saying it's going to happen, and it's going to happen, and it's going to be great. We've seen bits and pieces, like if you follow Abelle, then you've seen bits and pieces of their pitch. And I would love to hear like how that process has been, like, you know, making a pitch like that. Like I did a pitch class for SCAD, and just that whole thing is like, there's so much to think about. And I just am very curious. And we like would love for you to talk about your pitch on this too. So.
No, it's been interesting. I'm still working on it. I'm still, I'm mostly right now just trying to figure out like story aspects, like the technical writing aspects and stuff, then going back to the art. But it's really is such a learning experience. And like, I think for me, it's been helpful talking to other people who have pitched in the past, you know, but it was successful and not successful and stuff, and like getting their advice on what I need to improve on, what's working, what's not working and stuff, and what I need to focus on, you know. So I like my basically my pitch is like I don't know where to begin, but it's like it's like has an Afrofuturist fantasy theme, focus on a kid named Akira who has these magical powers that she it's like her powers come from her vision, but it's like I guess it's like third eye. I don't know how to explain it, but I'll learn how to explain it when I'm ready to pitch.
Yeah, this is a trial one. It's fine.
Yeah, but her magical abilities is kind of not hindered, but like because she has astigmatism, so her vision's not her vision is impaired by that and stuff. And but basically the king of the kingdom, Nana, is sent to get them to help find his father, who it was stuck, who's basically lost somewhere, but they don't know where. They think that he's trapped in like the spirit world of that universe and stuff. And I think him, Kira, and Nana's guard, Nia, are set on a journey to find Nana's father and stuff, but also they find very hidden like different secrets, not only within the kingdom, but also within their families and stuff. Yeah, so like that's like the gist of it, but there'll be more details to be developed, of course.
That sounds so exciting.
Cool.
That sounds so cool. Every time someone like says like fantasy, but it's not like your typical Western fantasy, I'm already sign me up. I'm already there for it.
We need more of that, guys.
Exactly. No, I'm really surprised there's not a lot of Afrofuturism like animation series or like movies. I know there's some coming out from Netflix though, so keep on the look out for that. But I want more Afrofuturism, just more futurism in different cultures, you know, because I think we are kind of tired of like Americanized like American versions of the future and stuff, you know, because it's all like dystopian and zombies. I'm like, y'all are pessimistic. Like, come on.
Give me some magic. I want some sparkles in there.
I mean, yeah, I feel like because me and Ariel, we like took a fan like class about fantasy and literature at SCAD, and it was just like our teacher was talking about how like most of the fantasy we read about is just, you know, white and just European, and it's like where's the fantasy from the different cultures? Come on now, there's so much potential, guys. So I hope that you get picked up, and I wish you luck on just developing that pitch, because I think I'm just so excited. Like the designs already look so cool, guys. So cool. Oh, just the colors of the future are so bright and awesome to look at. But yeah, we have Ariel. Do you want to go into the more downer segment?
Yeah, this is where like things just take a downturn on this, but like how's the job hunt? What are your job hunt frustrations?
For me, I'm not too pessimistic, I guess. I feel like this is gonna sound really stupid, but I feel like there's a win-win situation if I don't get hired immediately, because if I don't get hired, like I can finally rest up.
That's true.
That's true.
Like I think resting up, I need, you know. But I think before it was very stressful, especially starting out. Like I could only totally empathize with people who do need to find a job, like people who are kind of like immediately, like where like I'm like fortunate enough that like I was born in the US, while a lot of my friends have to worry about like visas and just like them being kicked out of the country if they don't find employment, you know. So it's like, or just in general, like people like feel like they have to like leave their like household and stuff, and you know. So it's like for me, it's like I feel like even though like I do need like I feel like I do need a job, of course, because student debt, you know. I think I'm not too worried, because I think for me, I know I just feel like I know what to expect, and I think time's so important for myself to just kind of rest up from gigs, you know. But that being said, I would love to work, because I would love to not only pay off my student debt, but also union dues, which when you do enter the union, you have to pay dues, and you'll be surprised how much those dues are. So,
yeah.
But I think what was really frustrating is right now is like I don't really have that many leads per se. I not a lot of usually this time, like people who are in the industry, usually they get like leads like right now, or like either like between now and January, they usually know what their job is. But because I kind of just started and stuff, I'm kind of like, I think it's always that fear, like, oh, this was the only job I'll ever have in the industry, you know? So I think that's like one small anxiety I have, of course, in my back of mind. It's like, oh, dang, this was like a one-hit wonder. I guess time to wrap it up, folks. I guess I have to retire right now.
Oh, guys, hire Abelle, please.
They are not a one-hit.
Ridiculous. I feel like a lot of people might look at you and be like, oh, they have it all figured out, because like, you know, they're like, look, have so many clients and blah 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 and freelance, and you had the BG Paint job, but it's like, no, I need to be hired, please. Come on, give me the offers.
It's very conflicting, because it's like it's a matter of just like, I guess it is a matter of luck and just like good timing. And I feel like my time, like sometimes my timing's really great, girl, but I think this time around, I think my timing's taken a bit of a slow time, you know. So I think it's definitely don't I think when finding like employment, or just like seeing other people trying to find employment, I think it's not to assume, oh, because this person has so many followers, or this person is just
yes
working and stuff, that oh, they have everything figured out. No, it's not true. I think it's just a matter of just like the timing, and just like if you are that fit, because like I've been applying to multiple jobs. Like I feel like I applied to like 150 jobs and stuff. Wow. And I got my, and this is my first, that's not my first, but like this is like one of the first full-time gigs I got. But it was because I was fortunate enough, because it's at Warner Bros. And stuff, like people knew my work and like what I did, you know, so people were able to advocate for me to like get this position, you know, but like it's very hard when it's like it is very hard to get other students to understand that, especially if you just graduate, you know. Like I think a lot of students feel like they like it's like this pressure, like, oh, this student is not 200% ready, when like you don't have to be 200%. Like I think that's like unfair to put students at such a high level of expectation, you know, when like some people who are in the industry, like let's be frank, some of them are not as qualified as some students are right now, you know. So I think I do feel that there needs to be some type of like way for more students, like more people to trust younger people to work in the industry. Because in my you know, viewing, I feel like because younger people, there's like this expectation they're gonna fail. Like they always succeed a lot. They always excel expectations, you know. Like I think that like a lot of employers need to understand, like maybe it's worth taking a risk on like some people, like students, or like some people trying to break in, because I think of course there's gonna be some people who like these expectations are kind of like fuck up, but it's also just like I think the majority of people do want to do well, you know. I don't think people have bad intentions to like I don't think no one wants to ruin their career, especially like, oh, you know, like I think people do have high, I think people are a lot harder on themselves than other people are on them, you know. So it's like, yeah, hire me, but also hire everyone else, including you guys. Like you guys need to be hired. I'm not even joking. Like y'all need to be hired yesterday. Like y'all should be working yesterday.
Thank you. I mean, I totally agree with that sentiment. And I'm just like, to employers, like just looking at our peers, like the class who just graduated, there's so many talented and hardworking people like out in the industry. And I know it's so hard because it's COVID and people can't really network and they don't know if they can take, you know, a chance on someone that's like that just graduated and they can't really see them. But it's like, just come on, like you can interview them, see how you vibe, and just like give them an entry level position and trust them, because there's so much talent to be unearthed. It's just like our whole group is us like talking to each other, being like, you guys need to be hired. How are they not hired?
For sure. And then it's that weird thing again where it's like entry level, but then they want all of these qualifications that equal exactly like a person who's been in the industry for like 5 years already. I'm like, what is entry level to you guys?
No, I don't understand. But I think to give our generation credit, I feel like there's a lot more solidarity between everyone as opposed to competition. Because I think
for sure,
like 4 years ago, it was this competition. If you didn't go to the right school, you have no chance of getting a job. But I think at least with our age group and stuff, I feel like people are like so open, like sharing like resources and being accessible, you know. I think that has been really helpful and stuff. That's why one reason why I created Drawing While Vibe, because it's like I think the mentality just like if you jump over the fence, like some people do forget what's like to be on the other side of the fence. Like I think we need to break that fence. Like try to limit as many barriers that they
with my wire cutters.
Like I feel like really not just like only having television on your career, but also the people around. Because like animation, like if you work on a crew, you're not the only one working, you know. So it's like understanding your team and like the people around you, your peers and stuff, could be your future like co-workers, or even like your future boss, or vice versa. Like I think working to lift each other up as opposed to knocking each other down will make this industry like a lot more accessible than it is right now, you know. And I think that's why I really enjoy like this podcast is like a great example of just like helping others find work, and also just empathizing each other, you know. Like I think that's what makes everything so great, you know. Solidarity all around, you
know. That's so great, because like, you know, when portfolio day and those hashtags, I love just like hyping my friends up, like hire them, come on guys.
Exactly.
It also feels great if you like think that like you like bringing attention to them, like or like recommending them can lead to them getting employed. I feel like that would be a really good feeling to feel as well.
Exactly. Yeah, there's so many people out here who I'm like, why are you guys not working yet? I'm just like, oh,
it will come. Do you have like any, like, we are always talking about like different job struggles and like things like the job portal and stuff like that, and like things that are frustrating about that. Do you have like any like problems and recommendations for how you think that the industry could do to improve like the way that hiring goes and the whole like reach?
So job portals are very weird. Haven't gotten any jobs, of course. It's very weird because I know a good majority of artists haven't gotten their jobs through like job applications and stuff. Usually it's done through recommendations. Usually it's done through social media recommendations. Like, oh, this person's art fits the bill. Like, let's say a showrunner is on Twitter. Like, oh, this person, they know how to do something that we need on our show, you know. But like usually like people are probably applying for that position, but the showrunners are like, oh, I already found this person on like Twitter or on Instagram and stuff. So it is kind of like a really complex situation, because I think job portals, there are purpose and stuff, and I think it does help recruiters in some way, but it's kind of like, I'm just like an artist in person who's applying for jobs, so like I feel like there is maybe some type of like weird crossroads or something between like recruiters and like people from different crews who are hiring. I think maybe just like maybe on the job portals. I think definitely being more reliant to job portals could help a bit. I think databases help too, like directories and stuff. So I think if you can like sign up for like try to be on directories. I do appreciate when crews are kind of like, oh, we are looking for this type of person, you know, for a crew. Maybe they use social media and Twitter, like also like that is kind of like a because you have so many people applying and stuff.
The usually, battle royale Twitter post.
Literally. Yeah. It's like, hey, I'm looking for this, and then everyone is just like.
But yeah. Like, for me too, like when I either I'm employed by freelance or just like people like looking for like artists, but if I can't fulfill something, like I try my best to I think if you are given that position to recommend things, try to look outside your circle of friends unless you know they fit the bill. Like try to take the time to find people who will ask you for what if they know you're not, because it's like I would have someone be really qualified for this position as opposed to someone who I love, like who I love and deal with. It's like I know they would not qualify for this position. You know? So I think that also kind of fights back the idea that this industry is like friends inviting friends, you know, people who are like, if you are my friend, like you're going to like join the industry and stuff. But I think it's our responsibility to try to branch out to people that we don't know, you know. I think that's why people feel like the industry might be like homogenized, you know, because it's like in the same type of circle, like is it really diverse, you know? So I think definitely paying attention to that. I think I know recruiters, it's like I think it is very frustrating as artists applying to jobs but feeling like they don't go anywhere and stuff. But I think what I've seen too is just people who are just present, whether they're present on like LinkedIn or social media or like involved in like portfolio reviews at like conventions or art events and stuff, like trying to be as present as you can, you know, and also like joining like Discord groups and stuff. Like there's a lot of Discord groups who share like job postings and stuff or like job advice, you know. Like for sure. That's why I love the post art Discord, because it's like it's nice to get people's advice, also like share my own advice to help other people who are also trying to find work in the industry. I think it is being frustrating for everyone to find work, even like people who are quote unquote established. Like, it's a big guessing game, you know. But, I think I think for students, there's more transparency about the job process and stuff. And like,
that's what I was thinking. I feel like the reason why it can be so frustrating for artists and why there's like some bitterness is because you just apply to the job portal and it feels like a blank wall, and it's like also you don't sometimes you like see that the application is still open, but you know for a fact that the job isn't, because you saw like one of your like mutuals, which is great, like get the job, but it's like the thing is still open, people can still apply to this, but it's not open.
No, it does get on my nerves when that happens, because like, y'all need to close this immediately. Like, why are y'all saying y'all looking for people when you're not, you know? And I also, it does, even when studios do contact you for gigs, like directly, sometimes they don't follow. Sometimes they do ghost you. Because I have past different things contact me, but they all fell through. Specifically in the time between June and July, they all fell through.
That's not cool.
Not cool. So I think there needs to be some accountability of when that does happen, or just like transparency, because a lot of the shows that did fell through, like it wasn't even about me as an artist. It was just like matter of like scheduling. If they have that room to hire people, you know, sometimes crews do prematurely contact artists, or are a bit, they jump the gun, and I feel like that's understandable. But I think when you are approached by crew and they're like, oh, it shouldn't hire you, go through the interview process, but don't follow up or like ghost, I think, try to get in contact with them, but also don't beat yourself up if they don't reply to you, because most of the time either the recruiters or the person who contact you is very overwhelmed, or you should keep it going. You know, I think one mistake I learned was never wait for a job, because I think one specific experience, I was waiting for this one gig for such a long time that I had to reject other jobs, but then that one gig never pulled through. So I was basically in limbo. I was very frustrated, because like I basically threw away all these I felt like I threw away all these opportunities. But it's one opportunity for it to fall through, you know. So I think if you are ever in a situation, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Definitely do not do that. Like, don't do that.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
And that just, I don't know, I feel like it's like kind of a tricky subject, because, and I feel like just having maybe more recruiters talk about their whole process and things like that would be awesome, just to hear like those talks, because I feel like the recruiters are also human, and like it's just like a really tricky subject because there's so many artists just like going through this, and like can get bitter really easily. But I don't know. I don't know how it would improve.
I think with this year, though, I think recruiters are starting to be a bit more transparent about everything, you know, and I think just continuing that like transparency really helps. I think seeing like a human face with the recruiters, like seeing that human face and like this is a human, not just like an algorithm person, like help, at least for me to understand, like, okay, if I was in their position and I had 1,000 applicants applying for this job, like, what would I do? Like, I could not tell you. So, I think definitely I think one advice too, I think that's why people recommend you contacting recruiters like directly. Not, of course, like do it like every quarterly. I don't recommend constantly emailing them. I think quarterly emailing them like because like the animation industry is like is very seasonal. So like I think every like waning off season, or like when the season's supposed to start up, like contact them, be like, hi, just want to check in, update my folio, and like I'm still looking for work and stuff. And I think if they don't respond, like I wouldn't definitely think that's a no. I wouldn't take that as a no, because sometimes they're like, we don't know something right now is for you, but later on the line we might find something for you. And they usually do contact you when they find a job that they might feel like you are fitted in, you know. So I think patience, while it's very annoying, is it's very necessary, especially in this industry, because you have to be patient whether you like it or not.
I feel like I wish I feel like it's kind of funny because when I was younger, I was like, once I get a job in the animation industry, I mean, even just in high school, I'm like, once I get a job, I'll be set. Like, once I get that big, like, first job, I'll be set. And it's like, no, if you're listening, like, it's a constant, like, I don't know, hustle to find the next job.
Hustle, constant grind. I know there'll be one point in your life where you will find less hustle and less grind, but you're probably gonna be like 30 or something.
I'm looking forward to that.
Feature, like if you're, that's why people.
Oh yeah, that's feature. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're set. We'll see. We'll see if I can work in feature.
Yes. We'll feature companies hire Abelle, please.
We'll see. I told myself I wouldn't mind not working in feature until I'm like older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's feature. Kind of seems like that sort of job, like when you're older.
Yeah.
To me.
I don't feature. Well, that's not. That's why I think I like TV a lot more because I also think TV too is like I like how fast paced it is because it's like you could be more progressive with the content.
Yeah,
and like up to date. While feature, it takes such a long time to just create. That's like sometimes a thread that you're working on. Right then now won't be will be totally different in 2 years. There are some features though that are still pretty very like contemporary. Spider-Verse,
exactly. They're with the time.
Spider-Verse.
That's why everyone wants to work on it.
Exactly. So if you're from the Spider-Verse crew,
yes, hire Abelle. Look at those designs. Yeah. Before we move on to the crowds. Oh yes, you can definitely do crowds. Like, look at the beautiful primary colored character designs on Abelle's website. It's such a treat. But before we go to a close with our final corner, is there just anything else that you want to like hype yourself or like say this is something I can't really put on my resume or cover letter, so I'm saying it here on this podcast?
I think one thing I need to let people know, like, even though I'm only 20, do not underestimate my experience. Please don't underestimate my experience. Yes. I think it's like of course, like I feel like I'm a humble person. I try to be, but also I've been working. Even as an intern, I've been working in the industry since I was 18. I know my shit. I wish. So I want people to understand like age really doesn't really represent experience. Like it doesn't. It shouldn't be a make or break for someone because you can never you should never I feel like definitely don't underestimate young people because like they can know a lot more than you think they do, and I think I that's why I kind of hopefully people who do look at me like, oh well, they don't have experience, at least some at least like they know they can feel better. I know my shit, like they don't I don't need to be like trained that much per se. I also too, like if you are looking for someone and if I don't fit the bill, I have a directory that you could use and I'd be more than happy to share with you. So like I'm on this podcast to promote myself, but of course I want to promote the directory because that is my baby and I want to see more and more diverse people in the industry, So I do want people to know that I don't think this is just like an I thing. I want community, togetherness in this industry, and I want to help. Like I like the mentality. If someone else succeeds, like I succeed, I guess that makes people. I don't know. People might see me as socialist or anything, but I don't care. I just really want people. I do want people to get hired. I want to see people not struggle, especially during right now. Like I just want the industry to be so diverse and also
like
I just want people to be in the industry so we can also have fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's really helpful to be like, why should we hire Abelle? But
no, that's great.
Just,
that's great.
That's the mentality we
teams.
need. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think this will be a clear time that I love teams. I love working with people.
Mm-hmm.
I try to not only focus on myself, but also focus on the general community within like the crews or just like animation stuff. And yeah, also I love to color characters, so that's the little extra pitch for me.
Yes, that's great. Oh my gosh. Please, guys, that's the type of person you want on your crew, guys, right there. Anyway, that was great, and we will end on a high note, which is our Would You Rather corner. And it's basically where we ask kind of job related would you rather questions, and there's like a double question and an angel question. So I will ask the double question, which is, would you rather have the ability to make really awesome art but you make it in your most hated medium, or use your favorite medium but only be able to make art about stuff you hate? So for example, my sister was the one who came up with it, and she's like, so for you it's rigging. I don't know if that's a medium, but
me, I would rather make something I love in a medium hate, because I have before done things that I just was like, I hate doing this, even though it's like one like strongest suits, because I was like, I can't put my all into this, you know. If I love something, even though I hate medium, I will learn to love medium, you know.
Nice.
Fair.
That's a great kind of mindset to have as well. And for a great mindset to have from an employee on a crew, because you know Abel's reliable then.
Abel's gonna make it work. Hire them.
Yes. And then Ariel.
Oh, this one is like a two-parter question, but for it, once your pitch gets made, when would you rather be the showrunner for it, or would you at this point be an art director for it?
I think I would be a showrunner. Because actually, like the show I'm working on, the showrunner is basically our art director, and it's been working out. It's been working out pretty great, because it's nice to, I think, having like a showrunner who also acts like an art director and stuff. It's like you get the total vision of what like they want, you know. So I think I will be a showrunner, but I'll probably act like a little art director.
Yeah. And there's a little another like part of this question. Would you rather produce it at a bigger studio or an indie studio?
I want to do a bigger studio just to make sure it's unionized. You know, I want my employees to I want my employees to have union benefits, you know, and get paid fairly, you know. So I think I would definitely want to work at a big studio on the pure fact knowing my employees are taken care of, you know.
Anyway, this is another good sign. Look at Abelle looking out for others.
Yes, that's so good.
But with that, this has been a good episode.
Thank you so much for being on our show.
It's been amazing talking to you and getting to know more about you and your process and your amazing art.
Can you let our listeners and any hiring like recruiters know where they can find you and hire you, all your socials and websites and everything like that?
My website's abellehayford.com, Twitter, Instagram, I think LinkedIn, because you know sometimes LinkedIn has those numbers. Anyways, most of my social media, Abelle Hayford, no like spaces, like Abelle Hayford together. Email abellehayford@gmail.com. I think that's mostly it. If you do want to contact me for my more professional work, just email me and I can give you my password. Regarding the directory, directory is prioritized. So email me if you want access to the directory, and I could definitely give you the password. Just tell me why you need it, and also just let me like some verification that it's for like a studio, or just like just let me know who you are in case you do want the directory. And that's about it. That's all my social promo stuff.
Yay!
Yeah, we'll definitely be linking every one of your social medias so that everyone can find you and support you and hire you.
Yes. Ariel, do you want to end it off with our socials then?
Yes, you can follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Hey Hire Us Pod. And if you'd like to help support us, we have a Ko-Fi, which is ko-fi.com/Hey Hire Us Pod. And
that's it.
That's it.
Thank you for listening. Thank you, Abelle, again.
Thank you, Abelle. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Yay.
Yay.
Great. Oh my gosh.
That was so good.